advertisers, management, staff, or ownership of WCTC.
Take Jersey Central with Burt Barron with you every morning. Listen online at WCTCAM.com. Jersey moves fast. Join the show that keeps you one step ahead. Jersey Central with Burt Barron on the new Talk Radio 1450 WCTC.
It is 8:08. It is hour number 3 of Jersey Central on the new Talk Radio 1450 WCTC, the voice of Central Jersey. Good morning to you. It's Burt. We got some clouds, temps in the mid-60s. We'll get to the mid-70s today. Full forecast, traffic update coming up at 8:15. WCTC, as you know, very pleased to support once again the various film festivals that are happening over at Rutgers University. This time around, it's the New Jersey International Film Festival Summer 2018. It is continuing this weekend. You can get all the information at njfilmfest.com. My guest on the Miller Lite Jersey Central Newsmaker hotline is the director of a film that's going to be shown coming up. This will be on Saturday, June 2nd. The feature film, it's a documentary that follows a pretty interesting story about someone pursuing their dreams, and I love a story like this. The film is called The Wrestler, a QT Marshall story. And my guest to open up our interviews today is the director of the film, Frank Zarillo, who is with us here. Frank, good morning. It's Burt Barron. How are you today?
Hey, Bert, how are you? Can you hear me?
I can, loud and clear. And thanks so much for buzzing in. I've been a wrestling fan my whole life. I've been a ring announcer for wrestling. I once got beat up in a wrestling ring one time. I love the story of somebody who has a dream and pursues it. And your documentary follows this this person in their quest to realize and live out their dreams, right?
Yes, sir. And I'm glad that you're a wrestling fan. If you're not doing it Saturday, if you want to come, you're more than welcome to.
Hope there's no body slamming going on, but maybe not. Right. But this is a documentary. This is a real life guy who wants to be a pro wrestler, right?
Yep.
And he's kind of getting up there in years and some injuries, and and we see if he makes it, right? Do we not have Frank? Do we not have Frank? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, sorry, my phone keeps cutting out.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah, loud and clear. So the guy's kind of getting up there in years. He's got some injuries, and he's going to give it one more go. Is that what this is about?
Yep. He actually, I don't want to give away the ending because if you want to see it, anyone who wants to see it can come Saturday at 5. But,
sure.
He owns a wrestling school out in Atlanta now, so he's doing pretty well for himself.
Okay. All right. That's cool. All right. Just about some people are just so relentless, Frank, when it comes to realizing their dreams, and they have this goal and they want to make it happen. Does he put the necessary work in? Because I know a lot of guys that have tried to make it and just simply they fall a little bit short.
Yeah, he's been doing so since he was 20. I mean, he was a full-time waiter at Planet Hollywood out in Orlando, and he was doing side jobs and wrestling in front of like 10 people. And then he would work for the WWE and a few other big franchises, but he just, it was just something that he had the talent, he had people backing him, he just didn't get him to the next level.
Sometimes, people, Jersey people and people that do this for a living, that want to do it for a living, you got to be tough. You got to realize you're going to get knocked down a whole bunch of times. It just takes that one person to kind of see you and believe in you and give you that shot, Frank, is what it's all about. Everybody in life just wants that one opportunity for greatness, and you kind of follow him in his quest to get that one opportunity, right?
Yeah, and like I said, it doesn't just pertain to wrestling. If anybody has a dream in anything that they're pursuing, that they can relate to this film if they watch it.
Filmmaking, for example, that's your passion, right? Talk about some of how long have you been making films?
For almost 10 years now, short films and working on TV shows, movies, low-budget stuff, everything. I just worked on a film festival called Hoboken Film Festival this last 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. And I've been grinding for a long time, and now the doors are starting to open now to a lot of good things to come after this. So.
See, that's how you're dedicated, obviously. You're putting good stuff out there. You're getting people's attention. Professor Al said, hey, I want to show this guy's movie in my film festival. So things are happening for you, man. They really are. That's good. Good for you.
Professor Al's a good guy. Minus the $100 bribe I gave him to get into.
Is that what it was, sir? Is that what it was? QT Marshall, family guy. Is he got? Does his family talk at all in this documentary about the impact it has on them?
Yeah, there's actually his wife. At the time, she wasn't his wife, and his mother. There's a dinner scene in there where everybody says it's pretty gripping and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
They've been waiting to say things to him for 10 years that they want to say to him in the dinner scene. So.
Oh, that's great! Wow, that's some good drama right there. That's good stuff. Yeah. So you're going to be on hand to take some Q&A at the screening on the weekend, right? On Friday.
Yes, sir. I'll be there. It's Saturday, June 2nd at 5 p.m.
Saturday, right.
Yeah, I'll do a Q&A afterwards, yeah.
Very nice, very nice. People that have seen this, what kind of feedback have you gotten from them, Frank?
Been very positive. Our first major film festival we got into, we won San Diego Comic-Con.
Wow.
Pretty big,
not a bad entree, yeah. Man, that ain't bad.
So,
good for you, good stuff. Pleased with it? If there was anything you could do over, would you do it again, or does this tell the story the way you want it told?
More of a crew and a budget. That's about it.
Yeah, you always want that. Every filmmaker in the world wants that, though, right?
Yeah.
Very cool.
The tools we have today allow you to make cheaper films, so it's pretty cool.
Good.
The things that have come from it, so.
See, that's the thing. Maybe the process of making the film is a little more cost effective, but you know what? You still put a quality product out, and that's what, at the end of the day, it's what it's about, right?
Yep, it's a labor of love.
Yeah.
That's what you want to call it.
Good for you. Anything on social media maybe people could check out before they come see the movie?
Yeah, they can go to bigfpictures.com, or they just type in QT Marshall story for Facebook. Or you can follow us on Big F Pictures on Instagram. We're on every social site. So.
Gotcha. Good stuff. Frank Zarillo, director of The Wrestler, a QT Marshall story. Thanks for the time this morning. Congratulations on the film and continued success. Let's hope those doors keep opening for you, Frank. You're starting to see those doors open. Let's keep it up, my man.
Right?
All right. Thank you for the time this morning. Great speaking with you. Sorry for the phone issues, but thanks for buzzing in today. All right, we'll continue our interview series coming up next. Jersey Central traffic and weather time 8:15. Traffic and weather every 10 minutes on the 5s. Let's get the traffic update. Tom Colangelo.
Well, delays northbound on the Parkway north of the Driscoll up to around 130, 131 near the Metro Park area. Reports of an accident causing those delays. Further north, delays through Clark and Cranford. 287 still jammed off 440 up to Durham Road at exit 4 thanks to an earlier crash. A new crash out by Centennial Avenue at exit 8. Southbound very busy out of Bridgewater and Somerville coming off 22. Patchy volume boats routes 1 and 9 and southbound on the Turnpike. Construction reported by 8A. I'm Tom Colangelo with your 1450 WCTC traffic update.
As you're heading out this morning, we still have some areas of drizzle and patchy fog. Could be a shower or two through the day, the high 70 to 75. Tonight, cloudy, fog and drizzle again, a couple of showers and in the mid-60s. It'll be warmer tomorrow. We may see a few breaks of sunshine, but shower or thunderstorm at any time. Highs should be in the middle 80s. Cloudy tomorrow night. The showers linger. Overnight low around 70. And cloudy skies on Saturday. We have showers, and there could be a few heavy downpours. Highs should be in the lower 80s. With the 1450 WCTC forecast, I'm Tony Salimo.
Take Jersey Central with Bert Barron with you every morning. Listen online at WCTCAM.com. Jersey moves fast. Join the show that keeps you one step ahead. Jersey Central with Bert Barron on the new Talk Radio 1450 WCTC.
We're back on Jersey Central. It is 8:16. We're continuing our interview series, New Jersey Film Festival. This is the New Jersey International Film Festival, Summer 2018. That is in progress now at Rutgers. You can visit njfilmfest.com for the complete schedule, all the information. Great information there that you could find at the website, and the festival is continuing along, and we're continuing our interview series. So let's get back to the Miller Lite Jersey Central Newsmaker Hotline and welcome in the director of a film that's going to be shown. This one's going to be coming up on Sunday, June 3rd. It is the main attraction, if you will. 306 Hollywood, and this is not a Hollywood movie story by any stretch of the imagination. We have John Bogarine, who is one of the directors here, to talk about the film. John, good morning. It's Bert Barron. How are you?
Hey, Bert. How you doing? So good to be here.
Good to talk to you. 306 Hollywood, and the picture that is on the website, njfilmfest.com, I just love this picture of this home with all these things sort of attached to the roof and to the front of the house. This is very eye-catching, but talk about what 306 Hollywood is all about.
Thank you. So 306 Hollywood is a magical realist documentary. The image you see of the house is the house completely covered in all the clothes of every single person who's ever lived there. And what me and my sister Alon tried to do with this film is we tried to take an ordinary person's story, and in this case, it's not a Hollywood story. It's actually a story from Hillside, New Jersey. It's about my grandmother, Annette Untel, who grew up in Newark. And when she was in her 20s, she moved out of Newark to Hillside with her family, and she lived in the same house for about 70 years. Once she died, me and my sister decided that the objects that she left behind, she had thousands of objects, she'd been living there forever, that they still had life in them. So rather than throw everything away, we kept her house for 6 years and we transformed it into an archaeological excavation. And we excavated her house as if it were a Roman ruin and went through all the different kinds of histories and stories that you can garner from the people that you love if you really look deeply into their lives.
And that's really remarkable. I had to do a home clean out about 10 years ago, John, when my dad passed away. And I can remember just going through my parents' stuff, and it's like, what a remarkable life they lived, that I had things I had no idea about. I'm going through pictures, gifts that they gave each other, and just it kind of opened my eyes to two people that I thought I knew very well, but it turns out I knew very little about them. Was that kind of the experience for you with your grandparents, that you learned maybe things about them that you didn't know about?
Yeah, it's an incredible kind of experience. You know, the thing that you mentioned to me is something that a lot of people who see the film say to us as well. People say, I went through my mother's stuff and my father's stuff, my grandparents' stuff, and they begin to discover these people and they begin to emerge as different kinds of people, as people who actually, they have things to share. They have new experiences to express, new dimensions in themselves that you didn't know. And I think for us, we tried to take as big of an approach as possible to a normal person, because everybody has someone they love. And when they lose that person, that means so much to them. It's a huge life-changing experience.
Yeah.
So in normal culture and in normal media, we don't take my grandmother or your parents or someone else's brother or sister, we don't take them and elevate them to the level that they feel for the person who loves them. So what we wanted to do is take that experience of love and that experience of connection and really amplify it, And I think that, through this process of bringing in archaeology, we bring in a physicist, we bring in a funeral director, we go to the Rockefeller Archive to talk about who's part of history. By bringing all these different pieces into the story, we're really trying to see what can we discover about the people we love. And we were really kind of amazingly surprised at how our grandmother kind of emerged out of this picture as an incredible figure.
Yeah, I'm sure. And you realize that at the end of the day, despite everything that parents and grandparents do for us, John, it's like, at the end of the day, they're people. They had feelings. They were afraid for me. My parents worried about me every day of my life. And it's things that you just don't realize until they're gone. And you kind of rewind their lives and you say, oh, here's some wedding pictures for them. And here was their honeymoon. And here was the day they brought me home from the hospital, and it's like you're touched in ways that your parents, while they were alive, didn't quite were able to make that bond with you. And I'm sure you felt moments like that with your grandparents as you continue to kind of explore and dig a little deeper into their lives and what they left behind.
Right. I mean, part of what we were lucky about is that before grandmother passed away, we filmed her for 10 years. Mm-hmm. So between the ages of 83 and 93, we filmed her every single year. And we did these really, really in-depth interviews with her where she talks about everything. She talks about sex and death and money and love and really she's like no holds barred. So she became a really deep collaborator before we ever even started making this film, before we even fully had the idea for what the film would be. But we have this archive of her where she comes through this amazingly funny, amazingly perceptive, amazingly honest person who she'll look death in the face, she'll look hardship in the face, and she'll laugh and keep on moving. She's really a remarkable person in that respect. So we had this document of her that we were able to weave into the film.
That's awesome. What was her reaction when you said, Grandma, I would like to film you for 10 years? What was her take on that?
Well, the thing that's interesting is, we think of the tagline for our film is "A house is a universe," and we really believe that the house contains an entire world for the people who live there. For us, we grew up in New York City, and we went to our grandmother's house every Sunday because our mother was a single mother who was raising us in the city, mm-hmm. and she'd take us out to Jersey, and we go there every weekend. So when we began to film her, it was almost like an extension of our relationship. It was just a very natural part of what we were doing, and she had always been very honest with us. But filming her gave us an opportunity to ask her more things than we would normally ask. You don't normally ask someone, do you miss sex when you're just hanging out with them,
Not your grandmother, typically, right. But you realize, at the end of the day, she's a human being. She's a woman. She's an adult woman, right.
Exactly. So we really kind of dove into that component of that relationship with her. I think the other thing is that she was a couture fashion designer in the 1940s and 50s.
Wow.
And part of her creativity kind of came into what we do. Me and my sister are both visual artists as well as filmmakers, and we really bring a visual art sensibility to the film. Like you mentioned the picture of the house covered in clothing. We also made an exact replica model house. So we made an exact replica of the house that we kind of film, sometimes in the little miniature model, sometimes in the real house. We have a dance number that happens in the film. There's a telescope that we use, a giant telescope we find in the house that helps us look back in time. So there's a lot of elements that are unusual elements in this film because we wanted to create a metaphor for every single experience we had. So if we were thinking something, or if our grandmother expressed something to us, we wanted to find a metaphor to make that beautiful and kind of magical for the audience. And really, in our grandmother's interviews and in her character, we see there's so much influence that we took from her through her creativity that we then bring to the film in the present.
Well, take the credit for coming up with this idea, John, since your sister's not on the line with us. This was your idea, right? Or was it kind of the two of you came up with this together?
No, it was always the two of us.
Okay.
Me and my sister, actually, from the time we were little kids, we always made stuff. So my sister she started teaching adults how to sew when she was 11 years old.
Wow.
And she would make clothes. I started drawing and painting when I was a kid. And, we really, both of us had always been making things and had always been sort of helping each other and giving each other ideas and sharing ideas. And over the past 10 years or so, we began making films together, and we started a production company. We make a lot of videos and media for big museums like the MoMA and the Whitney in New York and the Getty in Los Angeles. We do a lot of work internationally. And, as we were doing this is kind of like our way of kind of beginning a real collaboration as we set off on making a kind of crazy, unusual, genre-defying documentary that you're going to see on Sunday.
Really cool stuff. In the film, the 93-minute documentary film, is an update the current status of the house covered, as in whether someone's living there now or it was sold, or is that covered in the film?
Well, let's put it this way. When you watch the film, you'll understand exactly what happened in the whole situation, from us growing up in the house to our grandmother passing away to what happens as we excavate.
Okay.
But we do everything through metaphor, right? So it's not the most literal film. So there's certain details that we'll kind of omit, but you will understand exactly what happens with the story. And I think for anyone who sees it, they'll really understand the emotional impact of what happens at the end in terms of, ultimately letting go and learning how to deal with the loss of someone you really care about.
Yeah, that's it. 306 Hollywood is the name of the film. Anything on social media, John, that people can check out before they come out and see the actual movie?
Absolutely, yeah. Come and check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Our tag is @306 Hollywood, just @306 Hollywood, all one word. You can take a look, and you can also follow us. We have images up there. We have all the different screenings. We've been on a big tour starting in January. We premiered at the Sundance Film Festival.
Wow.
And we're continuing through many other film festivals. We'll also be in theaters starting in September. So there's a lot of opportunities for people to see the show, including broadcast and streaming opportunities later on this year. So for people who are interested, check it out, follow along. And also share your stories. If people have stories of people they loved that they've lost and objects that remain from those people that really revealed something beautiful, reach out and let us know and share your stories, and we'll include you in the conversation. That
is so cool, John. John Bogarine, 306 Hollywood. Thank you so much. Congratulations on the success you're having with this, and I just love the concept here. And great speaking with you this morning, and continued success to you and your family. All right.
Thank you so much, Bert. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right. Thank you very much. And there we go. That's our interview series for today for the New Jersey 2018 Film Festival, Summer 2018. We will conclude our interview series coming up next week.